is an invitation to your future, where you can turn opportunity into innovation and innovation into long-term success. Where economic strength and stability provide business security. Where established infrastructure provides the foundation for success. Where open for business truly means open. And where happiness is matched only by ambition. This is Abu Dhabi, where every day is a reminder to create the next. This is an invitation to your future today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Darren Ng, and welcome to Global Lava's Abu Dhabi event this morning, or this evening if you're in Abu Dhabi. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. I'm excited about today's event, and you obviously just saw the video on the exciting things about the city of Abu Dhabi. I'm not going to share that because everyone else will. I will say thank you for joining us here at Lava. If you're just joining us for the first time, Lava's been really reinvigorated. We were under a new brand, and we've got a new focus, predominantly focused on investors and so many of the startups that are coming out of this ecosystem. Today's event is about the opportunity that many of your portfolio companies or you startups out there might have in moving your operations to a place like many of the different Abu Dhabi enterprise zones that they have developed that could conceivably help to accelerate the development of your company with the many assets and benefits that they're offering, the incentives that they're offering. That's the word I was looking for. It's early here in the States, especially in LA, which is a late rising city. So without further ado, I will say, please join us for other events. And I'd like to thank Marin and the folks at Adio for working with us to put this together. I'm now going to introduce our chairs, because Lava happens through a whole series of committees, and the committees are led by chairs, and our two chairs for Global Lava, who have been really strong in the last few years, putting together programs from all around the world, Michael McClune and Sharon Rabinder. And thank you both. I'm going to bring them both on now. Thank you both for putting this together and being such great hosts and chairs of Global Lava. Oh, a few housekeeping things really to the audience before we start. We have left the chat active, and we've left the Q&A active for you in the audience to participate with us. The chat, we ask you to you can interact with each other in the chat. Feel free to do that. We'll be posting LinkedIn profiles, links of some of the activities or some of the topics that were brought up by our speakers. And then if you have a question for the panel or the speaker that's speaking, please drop that in the Q&A. We will be monitoring the Q&A, and we'll work it in as seems appropriate into the conversation, or in some cases we may wait till the end, or in some cases the panelists may choose to respond back to you directly in text and not respond verbally in the program. So please make sure to get that in. Now I'll go to Michael and Sharon, sorry.
Hi, I'll just say a few words. So I'm Sharon Rabinder. I work, my day job is to work for the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region in the Grenoble area in France. And I am co-chair of Global Lava with Michael McClune, and he's going to take it away because he's been the leader on this one. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Darren. Yeah, my name is Michael McClune. I run the International Business Accelerator. We help high growth companies expand across border, whether from the US outbound or welcoming foreign startups and high growth companies here to the US via the Los Angeles market. Sharon and I have been doing these webinars and panels and expert presentations for a few years now. And we really strive to educate and empower founders and business development professionals and globally minded entrepreneurs about how to make that cross-border growth risk-free, lucrative, and easy. And in the years that we've been doing this, and even before I took the reins with Sharon to lead this group, even the events that I have attended over the past 5 to 10 years, I've never seen an amalgam and a suite of incentives and initiatives like you're going to hear today. And I'm not one for superlatives, but you're going to hear some pretty intoxicating reasons and support systems to expand into Abu Dhabi and, of course, grow your business from there as well. So you're going to hear about the initiatives, the funding opportunities, both equity-based and non-dilutive. And as you conceptualize and plan your cross-border growth strategy, it's hard to not pick Abu Dhabi. We have friends who have lived there, and they loved every minute of it, and they always want to go back. So with that, I don't want to gild the lily too much, but this really is an amazing lineup of incentives here. So with that, I will introduce Monira Al-Kutab, who's the Executive Director of Promotions and Business Advisory for ADIO, which stands for the Abu Dhabi Investment Office. So the folks you're going to hear from today are directly from ADIO. And again, as Sharon and I always try to do, we try to give the tools and the tricks and the actionable items, and also connect you with the people who make those decisions and who can make those decisions with you and on your behalf. So you'll be hearing directly from them. And here's a video introduction from Monira.
3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's event. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak to you about growing economic cooperation between the US and Abu Dhabi. Before I begin, I want to thank my counterparts at the LA Venture Association. I'm grateful to them for co-organizing this event so we can introduce all of you to the business opportunity support in Abu Dhabi. The opportunity for cooperation between our two markets is vast. The numbers prove this. In 2020, bilateral trade totaled an immense $17.83 billion, with the US exporting nearly 15 billion of goods and services to the UAE. The UAE is the US's largest export destination. More than trade, bilateral investment plays a significant role in our relationship. There are over 12,000 American workers employed by the US affiliates of majority-owned UAE firms as of 2018. The UAE and US has been dependable long-term partners. Our relationship has been so successful only because of how aligned our two markets are on progress, on technology, and innovation. These are things that will drive us forward and are things that really truly matter. In today's session, we're focused on a few areas, including finance and clean tech, gaming, and AI. What all these sectors have in common is a focus on innovation. And when it comes to innovation, there's nowhere else in the world that you will see it more than the US. From entrepreneurs and startups to large MNCs, what American companies are doing is creating an unparalleled positive impact in the world around us. We want to introduce you today to Abu Dhabi's innovation ecosystem. The Emirate is emerging as an innovation hub where businesses will have access to everything they need to succeed. In Abu Dhabi, American companies will discover an ecosystem that can help you enter new markets, support you with setup, provide funding for growth, and more. We have the infrastructure to help companies from all over the world grow, and we want to invite you to use Abu Dhabi as your launch pad to new regions. I'll soon pass the time over to my colleagues to share about specific sectorial opportunities. But before that, know that if you choose to take your first steps into Abu Dhabi, we at the Abu Dhabi Investment Office are committed to supporting your growth. And we will work with you to unlock opportunities and accelerate innovation on a truly global scale. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you have a great session.
All right, that gives you a good overview of Abu Dhabi. And as I said, we're going to hear some tremendous incentives and sort of no thought reasons and convincing reasons to go to Abu Dhabi. Now, we are the LA Venture Association, but as Carmen here will tell you in a second, and everyone else, this is open to any US company and really any company around the world. So allow me the pleasure to introduce Ms. Carmen James. She's going to represent the IDO's financial service and ICT sector. So they're very long and very aggressive in welcoming fintech and high-tech companies. So thank you, Carmen.
Thank you so much, Michael. And good morning to all of our friends joining us from Los Angeles and kind of across the West Coast today. My name is Carmen James from Abu Dhabi Investment Office. I'm lucky enough to lead our financial services and ICT sectors in foreign direct investment. And today what I'll really be talking to you about is white space. So this is really the huge regional expansion opportunities that Abu Dhabi represents to US companies. Why you should consider Abu Dhabi as the next landing pad in the region to help access emerging markets, and really how ADIO can help you to accelerate that growth and truly take off. So let me just share my presentation with you. So innovation is really something that has been at the core of the United Arab Emirates, and in particular, Abu Dhabi's DNA. We were built on executing very big visions, and the UAE has been blessed with great leadership. One of Abu Dhabi's greatest strengths is this continued vision and stability. So this was the idea that like the late Sheikh Zayed could think 50 years ahead and have these views and this vision be built upon and further advanced with the great leadership that we still have here in the nation's capital in Abu Dhabi today. As a bit of background for you guys, as part of our overall initiatives to create this really open and diverse economy, the UAE government has really been empowering people to find innovative solutions to pressing challenges in business, in government, in science, and beyond. So as you can see in front of me, there are lots of amazing initiatives that we're working on and that we're proud of. We really recognize that these areas of having a strong and stable economy, established infrastructure, ease of doing business, and ultimately also having a great life is all really important to businesses being successful. And the key numbers here are 0 to 100, exactly where you want them to be. 0% income tax, although I know for Americans this is never truly possible, and 100% foreign ownership for hundreds of different company activities, both on and offshore. Abu Dhabi is really ultimately the tried and tested place for you to establish your business. So we're this proven expansion ground and gateway to the world's fastest growing economies around us. The UAE is actually one of the top 30 globally, and Abu Dhabi contributes to 60% of the nation's GDP. Finally, we're also very strategically located, and we continue to pride ourselves on having a really open and multicultural community, with a very inclusive visa program, very supportive of tech talent, and 80% of the world's population is within an 8-hour flight radius. So ecosystem is really key to everything that we do here, and Abu Dhabi offers a range of support and incentives to help businesses from around the world, including those from the US, to succeed and grow here in the Emirate. We're investing very heavily in technology, and the government has put a lot of emphasis on supporting innovative entrepreneurs through accelerator programs such as Khadan 21, and just more generally through building a technology ecosystem. And we can really support you here via 3 key pillars, which is access to capital, access to market, and access to talent. Abu Dhabi also provides financial support through incentives, such as Abu Dhabi Investment Office's grant and rebate program, as well as equity investments through key ecosystem players and partners like ADQ and Mubadala, some of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world. But across the spectrum, really, if you're looking for a university partner to help you do research, we can connect you. If you need a funding source, there are many different types, as well as an open capital market that you can take advantage of. Or if you're a tech company that relies on having an efficient infrastructure environment, you're looking for clean tech sustainability, we have world-leading ability in terms of 5G, free zones, and international connectivity. So here's really how we can help. So Abu Dhabi Investment Office is the government body that is responsible for promoting, attracting, and facilitating investment into the Emirates of Abu Dhabi. So we're here to help you grow and succeed in Abu Dhabi, in the UAE, and across the region. Our focus is especially on innovation-driven companies and supporting them to take advantage of all the Emirate has to offer. So the way that we support investors and businesses with innovation at the core is to really ensure that long-term sustainable success in Abu Dhabi and across the region. And the way that we do this is through tailored and personalized investor care, guidance, and support, coupled with structured financial and non-financial incentives to help support and realize your growth and go to market in Abu Dhabi. So on the non-financial side, we have a completely incredible investor care team that really offer a bespoke end-to-end A to Z support service to assist you with every aspect of your setup in Abu Dhabi. So you bring your idea and we help make it a reality. We know through our experience working with entrepreneurs that the more time you can spend on that great idea and the go-to-market, the better it is for your business, especially when you're entering a brand new market. And we very much have this philosophy of helping in mind. On the financial incentive side, this is where it gets interesting. This can really be a game-changing form of support to help bring your vision to fruition by making your investment go further. So this can act as a runway extender or a growth facilitator. On the non-financial side, Abu Dhabi is the central government hub to support you as you explore the growth opportunities in the Emirate. So we assist with connecting you across the ecosystem to give you all the information and the access that you need. The best way to illustrate this is to kind of how we support this growth is by walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So I've got two great case studies here on how we can support your go-to-market in Abu Dhabi. So we've previously announced our partnership with tech music streaming leader Angami to move their global headquarters to Abu Dhabi. Via our financial incentives linked to innovation, we're supporting them on the OPEX side to help move and hire employees and continue R&D and technical development. They also listed on NASDAQ New York last month via SPAC. We're also supporting them via non-financial incentives. So we worked with them to secure dedicated office space that can scale with them as they grow, accommodation for employees, as well as visa and licensing assistance to make the whole process smooth end to end. Another great example here is South Korean cloud computing company, The Spin. This is really accelerating what we like to think of as the shift from sand to silicon by accelerating growth in the ICT and specifically the cloud computing sector. So Abu Dhabi really provided them with the perfect kind of expansion ground to grow their business across the region via our support on those high-tech OPEX and CAPEX cost centers. So they've established their regional HQ in Abu Dhabi's Hub 71, our startup incubator and tech ecosystem. And they're also establishing 2 innovation centers to tap into the ICT sector here in Abu Dhabi. There are really kind of 3 key things I want to leave everyone with today to take away. One is that we work with any company looking to expand to or grow within Abu Dhabi. 2 is that we can be very bespoke in the way that we support by tailoring you a style of support from our entire menu of options. And 3 is that we connect with the entire ecosystem for a one Abu Dhabi approach. We're very much open for business and there are a lot of opportunities here. I've given you a very high level overview, but I'm very happy to get into the details with each of you specific to companies, specific to any of your portfolio companies or funds themselves. So really the next step is to come to me and let me know what you need to take your business to the next level in Abu Dhabi. And actually, I'm lucky enough to work with 2 colleagues that I work very closely with across the Abu Dhabi ecosystem as part of our free zones that I'm going to be speaking with next. So as part of the next part of our session, it is my great pleasure to introduce my 2 colleagues from Masdar City and 2454. We're going to be hosting kind of a few questions back and forth between what they do. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Nermin Negam, who is the Senior Manager for Marketing and Business Development at Masdar City, and James Hart, who is the Director for Strategy and Business Development over at 2454. Thank you so much for joining us, Nermeen, and James. Pleasure to have you. And although James, I know we spoke a few hours ago, Nermeen, I speak with Stephen on a daily basis. So guys, this is a real example of the One Abu Dhabi approach. We really do all work together very closely.
Thank you for having us.
I might start with you, Nermeen, just for the audience. It'd be very helpful if you could give them a little bit of a background about Masdar City and the growth that you've had over the last few years.
Sure. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here to talk to you about Masdar City, which was envisioned with one objective, really, which is to make Abu Dhabi the preeminent source of knowledge and development and implementation, and become the world's benchmark for sustainable urban development. While it has succeeded in realizing this objective, Masdar City's primary value is not as a real estate developer, but as a platform for R&D, tech, innovation, for playing a crucial role towards the UAE's Vision 2050, COP28. I'm sure you all see in the news how the UAE is really pushing the agenda on sustainability, and for Abu Dhabi's global outreach accordingly, and also in demonstration of the green financing through the region's first green REIT, which we recently launched. Now, having said that, Masdar City has the region's fastest growing free zone, with currently more than 1,050 companies registered. We're very proud of our growing strength, not only in sustainability related businesses, which is somewhat of a misconception. So Masdar City, being the largest cluster of low carbon buildings and a sustainable urban development, its free zone seems to always be associated with sustainability related businesses, which is not the case. We offer business licenses for over 450 activities, and it's become truly a leading hub for innovation and technology in Abu Dhabi. Speaking of growth, in 2020, the free zone registered 275 companies, despite very strict lockdowns and precautionary measures, which speaks to what Carmen was saying and what Munira was saying about how Abu Dhabi is very much open for business. And we also grew 35% over 2021. And from an urban development side, it has grown significantly as well. I mean, it's already quite a large city. We're at around 36 million square feet to be developed over five phases. And we've just finalized the first phase, which is approximately 10 million square feet of GFA. We've more than doubled over the last 4 years, and we've got development plans to double once again over the next 4 years. So with all of that, we're continuously upping our sustainability standards. We're continuously pushing the envelope when it comes to LEED certification. We're heavily moving into implementing LEED in not just the buildings, but also the public realm with net zero buildings and projects on a city scale. So I think that's Masdar City in a nutshell as it's growing over the last few years and as it continues to grow.
I can definitely attest to that. As for the audience, I actually live next to Masdar City and I walk around it every single weekend. And the growth that you see on the ground is actually incredible in terms of the new buildings that pop out. Some of the kind of the solar installations are very, very cool stuff. It's not just kind of sustainability. It really is a new tech hub for sure. James, you also have an incredible new hub that you guys are building over at 2454. It would be great to give the audience a little bit of background about what 2454 does and the business offerings that you guys offer.
Thanks, Carmen. Thanks as well. Yes, 2454 is the Abu Dhabi government body that looks after, manages, operates, curates and grows the Abu Dhabi's media industry. Abu Dhabi's got a rich history in screen production. The biggest Hollywood and Bollywood movies have all shot in Abu Dhabi. And also a lot of content's produced here that you don't see. A lot of regional dramas, local content for local screens is produced in Abu Dhabi with a thriving film commission that offers a cashback rebate, a 30% cashback rebate for all productions that take place in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. And that's been happening now for it's been going about 12 years, the film commission, with great success. And a few years ago, we've taken that success and we've mirrored it now with the gaming industry. So there's a big focus now on a world-class support for all gaming industry companies, whether they are publishers, game developers, game producers, through to esports operators, esports platforms. 2454 as a whole looks after the whole media industry. There is over 600 media businesses incorporated in Abu Dhabi's media zone, which really looks after and curates and pulls together the media industry, where creators work better when they're together. And that's part of our new home on Yas Island, which we're moving into in about 3 or 4 months' time. We've been waiting a long time for this. We We're going to be moving all 600 media businesses into a new media technology campus on Yas Island that it's truly outstanding, the location. And it's exciting when we put all these media companies together there to see what comes out of it, see what content is created and exported to the world from Abu Dhabi. Certainly, we've never been busier from a media industry perspective and a growth perspective. With specific focus on the gaming industry now, which is growing faster here in the Middle East than anywhere else in the world. The spend on gaming per capita in the UAE is the highest in the world. Everyone loves playing games here, so which is great for the industry. And a lot of companies now are seeing this opportunity, coming here to set up, whether they're localizing the games that are IP from overseas, coming here localizing it for the Middle East audience. Over 410 million people live here, and most of them, like me, play games. And Carmen, I know she's a bit of a gamer as well herself. So there's a huge market here, and gaming companies are now focusing their attention on the Middle East as an area of growth, alongside the screen production. So 2454 facilitates, helps, supports with a multitude of programs, subsidy programs for game developers. We're the only government in the region that offers long-term sustainable support for game developers through our subsidy and incentive program, and also with Unity Technologies that's headquartered here in Abu Dhabi for the Middle East and Africa region. We do talent development training programs in over 13 universities, and we feed that talent into the industry. This is what's really important. So part of the government's AD Gaming initiative is to bridge the education system with industry, because the first thing game developers, gaming industry companies look for is talent, and that's something that Abu Dhabi is prolific at, with a world-class education system. And we'll see a lot of good, cool games coming out of Abu Dhabi in the future. And also played in Abu Dhabi with our esports industry. I could go on, Carmen, but I'll hand over back to you.
We will go on, don't worry. Now, Marina, I might kind of touch on a point that you mentioned earlier, which is it's somewhat of a misconception that Masdar City is just kind of focused on sustainability. Are there any other kind of key sectors that Masdar City is focused on or trying to build? And if so, like how does Masdar support those kind of companies through those processes?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Masdar, which is Abu Dhabi's future energy company, is actually composed of two divisions. One is the renewable energy arm, which is active in more than 30 countries. It is developing some of the world's largest solar, wind, waste to energy projects. The other is Masdar City, which is what I'm representing today. And its investments is mostly in creating an ecosystem that everyone wants to be a part of, by providing the right services and holistic urban development to attract the right players to build that ecosystem mostly. Now, this includes, among others, the Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, which is the first postgraduate university in the world dedicated to the study and advancement of AI. The Technology Innovation Institute is also based in Masdar City, which is part of Abu Dhabi's government's Advanced Technology Research Council, which oversees technology research in the Emirates and for the entire UAE and the region. The International Renewable Energy Agency is here, the UAE Space Agency, the Emirates Nuclear Energy Corporation, and corporate giants with their regional headquarters like Siemens Energy, Honeywell, Lockheed Martin. So it's really an ecosystem that we're investing in. And moreover, to encourage and stimulate entrepreneurship, Masdar City launched the Catalyst, which is the region's first sustainability-focused startup accelerator. It's a joint venture with BP, and it provides selected applicants with capital that can be converted into equity should their businesses bear fruit over the long term. And it's also home to the only planned and approved R&D cluster in Abu Dhabi, and we've piloted a lot of projects across a range of innovation topics, covering health, mobility. Transportation is a huge priority for Masdar City, as you can imagine, renewable energy, of course, and sustainable living. So we basically invest in playing the role of the connector. And something that I really want to talk about is actually a program that we launched recently, which is called Innovate. And it's basically, we reached out to startup accelerators or communities around the world, scouting for brand new inventions and companies that are working in the fields of sustainable mobility, AI, clean energy, water and food security. And we provided them with a platform through our website, which I will leave the link for all of you here. and a virtual event to launch. And then we invited them to take part in an exhibition at Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, which is the largest global gathering for sustainability advancement. And it's held by Masdar in Abu Dhabi each year in January. We take huge pride in this event. It gathers policymakers, heads of state, huge, organizations that are really working on advancing sustainable development in the world. And we invited investors and startup accelerators and ADIO, of course, who came and met these startups to help them thrive, basically. So this is ultimately with the aim that they will take up business licenses and pilot their projects in Masdar City. So I'm going to leave a couple of links for you here in the chat box.
We love a call to action, James. I know that, like, in kind of contrast to Masdar, 2454 has a more kind of focused set of innovation areas that it's looking to build out, and specifically around media, gaming, blockchain-based gaming, media, and kind of film, etc. Are there any kind of specific areas of innovation focus that 2454 is looking to build out over the next couple of years?
Yeah, a key focus I mentioned was the gaming industry, and that's evolving very fast. We see companies now setting up that are in the play to earn space, blockchain-based gaming platforms setting up in Abu Dhabi. One area that we see a lot more of now in Abu Dhabi that we're supporting is the in-camera visual effects, where the game engines, Unreal Engine and Unity Engine, are used in screen production. This is the new age of screen production, where it's all based on these LED screens behind. And Abu Dhabi is investing heavily now in a new studio city, new sound stages. So all this technology will be here. The talent will be here, and some awesome content will be created. The industry moves so quickly in this space. It's you have to be across it to keep up, but companies that succeed can succeed in Abu Dhabi because we have the talent and we have the infrastructure to complement it.
I think James and I definitely both seeing that. I think both of us have never seen such an influx of specifically in blockchain-based gaming, gaming companies more broadly in the region, just based on the demographics. I think is a huge call to action there in terms of there's this huge untapped market, and how do you kind of access those localization. So ADIO has been partnering in collaboration with 2454 to produce more localized content through our partnerships with Stars Play in media. Through gaming with Unity for 2454, we're looking more and more to kind of work with media companies and gaming companies to continue that regional expansion. On your side, Nermin, in terms of, although Masdar City is not just focused on sustainability, it does have a broad view across several different sectors. Are there any key innovations, not just in sustainability, but beyond, that you think are kind of opportunities to implement in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I mean, the list is huge, really. I think the leadership of Abu Dhabi has really proven that it's very focused on sustainability and sustainable development. And there are a lot of projects that are being piloted in the country, and very much so in Abu Dhabi. In the different areas that I've mentioned, sustainable transport is a really big focus here. We've piloted the first autonomous vehicles, the personal rapid transport system, which has transported more than 2 million passengers without a single incident. We have the first eco bus, which is the first electric bus that was done in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport. There's a lot of projects that are related to clean energy. We have the largest photovoltaic farm in the UAE. So it's, and as I was saying, Masdar City is in general focused on tech innovation, sustainable tech. Companies that are trying to pilot projects are more than welcome to come here. We've actually recently had a company called 40 Guard that came to measure different temperature points around the city, because Masdar City, as it's been designed with its angle to the sun and its wind tunnels, is actually 10 degrees lower than the rest of Abu Dhabi. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, and I apologize for our American audience, but the team came and they measured different points, and they came up with reports on, what kind of color tiles are better for temperature absorption, what kind of materials that are best to use, and by us allowing them to come and do this at Masdar City, they've actually been prospected by very reputable entities that want to invest in them. And that's really a mandate by the UAE government, is helping us through the regulations to support these kinds of technologies to be piloted at Masdar City, and accordingly scale up globally. And I think that's a huge benefit of being in an ecosystem like Abu Dhabi and Masdar City.
Absolutely. It's definitely a place to kind of like work on those innovations that are like regionally like developable and then globally exportable, specifically in a lot of the kind of sustainability challenges that we're seeing that are actually worldwide problems. We're seeing that a lot in ag tech as well as in sustainability.
Absolutely.
I mean, like one of my last questions to you, James, would be, I think James has been in the region, for everyone's background, for a very long time. I think, is it 12 years, 17 years, James?
17 years in UAE and no intention of leaving any.
Same here, by the way, 17 years exactly, James as well.
Wow.
So that's nice.
Maybe we came over on the same flight, I mean.
Probably.
No.
We have some real veterans here. I'm a baby at only like a few, but in comparison, I think, James, you're a perfect person to kind of, both of you are perfect people to ask this question to. So James, from your perspective, from the 2454 view, and also just from your personal perspective, having been here for so long, what advice would you give to US companies as a final piece of kind of guidance who are looking to establish to Abu Dhabi?
Oh, I mean, come here and see the place. There's no better advice than that. My 17 years here, I've loved every year of them. It's the safest city on the planet statistically, and you can tell that by living here. The business environment is awesome. It's so multicultural. This is something I would say, which is why people have to come here and see it. It's you know, we have people here living and working next to each other from all four corners of the planet. So I would say come out here and see it. Come out on holiday. There's so much to do here that you can have a holiday, and then you'll really get a flavor for Arabia and for Abu Dhabi and the hospitality that is here.
Now, I mean, I might ask you the same questions just based on your experience and your life experience, and also your professional experience as Masdar City. Is there any piece of advice that you would give to US companies that are looking to explore in establishing an Abu Dhabi?
Absolutely. I absolutely second what James was saying. You got to come. I mean, we all acknowledge how COVID-19 has accelerated remote working. And although I'm sure similar to Masdar City, probably 2454 perhaps offer flexi desk working options and so on. But that doesn't mean that being physically present to support business aspirations in this part of the world won't derive the greatest value, especially with Abu Dhabi having such a central location. All the things that you've seen in that video and the facts and figures that Carmen's given and what James is mentioning about safety, its central location being, so centralized between Europe, Africa, and Asia, and being such a strong global hub for travel, the UAE government is super supportive. Very worth mentioning as well the golden visas, which I'm not sure if you've seen in the news, but the UAE now offers golden visas for investors and entrepreneurs, in which you can come and get a residency to stay and to invest. And Masdar City Free Zone, by the way, processes golden visas for the Abu Dhabi Residence Office. So there's so much going on, and all of you certainly hear about the UAE in the news all the time. So being part of this action and coming to Abu Dhabi to experience all that it has to offer would be really valuable for any business to grow its presence in the world.
Very good pieces of wisdom, James and Nermeen. Thank you both so much for sharing your time today. And thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to hand back to Darren. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Carmen.
Thank you very
Before
much.
we lose you guys, I noticed there was a question in the Q&A, and I'd love to throw that out before we lose you. The question was with regard, you've mentioned a lot of fantastic benefits and incentives for a whole plethora of companies. Are there any specific incentives for, I believe, what it is to say, healthcare AI companies?
I might take this one. So as at Audio, we look at 5 strategic pillars that we look at in terms of sector focus. I look after financial services and ICT, but healthcare and biopharma is one of those as well. We also look at tourism and agriculture, specifically ag tech. So healthcare and biopharma is a huge strategic pillar for us. We work hand in hand with the Department of Health on an almost daily basis to make sure that the companies that we're working with are strategically aligned with the DOH's goals as well. So specifically what we can offer with DOH is they have a really great testing model where as a startup, you can come in directly and access DOH and start testing and seeing if you have a good go-to-market fit and accessing directly the network of hospitals and clinics that are already plugged into the DOH network. We also have, through our partnership with Plug and Play, which is the world's most active accelerator and investor, a specific health tech accelerator, which as part of, we also have a fintech accelerator as part of that program. So Audio has partnered with Plug and Play, and that's a really great way to kind of test, even remotely or virtually, what the market in Abu Dhabi could be like. That also connects you with corporates as well as governments in the region. So I would recommend connecting with us to give you some more information about the Plug and Play Health Tech Accelerator program, as well as our partnership with DOH that can really help give you an overview of the entire ecosystem there.
Wow. That was a fantastic amount. And then there's another question while we're at it. Any specific, that was a lot for specifically healthcare. Are there any resources for ag tech?
AgTech's actually been our most active sector in terms of the partnerships that we've announced as Abu Dhabi Investment Office's innovation program. So we have partnerships with AgTech providers that are looking at solutions in land, sea, and even space. One of our US partners, NanoRax, is actually researching space agriculture, which is being developed and deployed on the International Space Station. So we're looking at all kinds of different opportunities. It's really like the world's problems. And as we are an arid climate, it's a really great place to develop those solutions. So we're looking at not just vertical farms, but also kind of fish farming, blockchain-based fish farming, where you can actually see when and where your fish was caught. Really all kinds of very interesting aquaculture solutions. AgTech has been a huge focus for the UAE, not just recently with COVID-19 and food security, but it was part of Sheikh Zayed's original vision for the UAE, which was to green the desert. You've got over 20,000 farms just in Abu Dhabi alone. So it actually is a great hub for AgTech. We work hand in hand with the government, provide funding partners, ADQ, which do a lot in AgTech, as well as with Salal, which is an agricultural wholesaler. So, I mean, I don't want to say like we have something for almost every sector, but we really do have something for almost every sector.
It certainly sounds that way. I see a number of other questions popping up in the Q&A and in the chat. Folks, if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A, because it's a lot easier to track the questions in the Q&A. I'm going to ask Carmen if she can stick around for a little bit through the end. In order to stay on time, I think we're going to move to the next segment of this group. Thank you, Ramin and James, for your insightful contributions. Carmen, we'll come back to you after I've been able to discuss this amazing case study from John with Securrency. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Darren.
So, I find it fascinating. Last year, we had a lot of, I would say, fintech activity in LA. I also consulted to some companies in Africa where fintech was exploding in some areas and then really not in many other areas. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, because I know about your business and I'm getting excited right now, but I just realized the audience doesn't know. So tell us a little about yourself and your business.
Okay, happy to. My name is John Hensel. I'm a co-founder and I serve as the Chief Operating Officer for Securrency. Securrency is a US Delaware C Corp that was founded in 2015. While I'm going through this, I'll go ahead and put a slide up on screen just to share with the audience a little bit of background about us.
Great.
Hopefully I get this right here. Go to the PowerPoint and
yeah, we see your whole.
There you go. You should see the slide information here. So as I said, we were founded in 2015. We're a reg tech and fintech company. We're really building infrastructure for financial services, bridging legacy infrastructure into blockchain and distributed ledger technology environments. In 2017, we made a decision to move internationally. And as we were evaluating different market opportunities around the world, we discovered Abu Dhabi. And in 2017, I moved here with my family, and all of the things that James and Nermeen mentioned a moment ago about the quality of life in Abu Dhabi is completely true. I have had a fantastic experience here. My kids went to school here. They're now both students in Los Angeles at the University of Southern California, fight on. But we have had just an amazing experience here. And along the way, we have recruited talent from around the world to join us. So we now have 26 different nationalities in our company. We have over 100 employees, and 72 of those employees are in Abu Dhabi today. So over the course of 5 years, we have grown very quickly here. This has become our international headquarters. Fantastic programs, including the support that Carmen mentioned through audio. They have been right there with us all along, and it's been a great experience. Investing in our company is, of course, always a very important part of the growth of a startup. And you can see here in the strategic investment partners categories, we have the second largest and the third largest sovereign wealth funds have made investments into Securrency through Catalyst Partners and ADQ. And that translates to approximately 20% of our cap table being investment from the region. That includes the UAE, different emirates within the UAE, as well as Saudi Arabia. So by being here, by being invested into the region, insofar as building our business and committing to the growth of the ecosystems that the various free zones encourage, we have been able to garner fantastic support. And that's not just an investment, it's through commercial opportunities, strategic opportunities, engagement with regulators, and a whole host of other benefits. So why don't I go ahead and pause there, Darren, and I'll stop sharing screen and come back to just a conversation.
So, I see a lot of startups. I see a lot of successes, a lot of, not successes. Your story just as a startup and, as a successful, cutting edge DeFi type company is fascinating. But since this is an Abu Dhabi focused, tell us a little bit about the success story that you've had in growing in Abu Dhabi. You kind of just touched upon it. I think you said you have 26 nationalities on your staff. That's amazing. I'm curious, like how many different languages are being spoken in the lunchroom, right? So tell us a little bit about the success story that you've had kind of as an entrepreneur, as a co-founder, moving to Abu Dhabi and what that's been like.
Yeah. So as I said, in 2017, we moved over here and it was initially it was just myself. But what we were really attracted to as a fintech and a reg tech that is very much focused on addressing the compliance considerations in financial transactions, it was very much about finding a regulatory environment that aligned with our philosophies and our objectives. And we found that in the Abu Dhabi global market, the Financial Services Regulatory Authority it's a young jurisdiction. If I recall correctly, it's approximately 6 years old, so nearly the same age as our company. But in along the way, what they have done is they've built out an amazing regulatory framework that is purpose-built for digital securities and digital asset transactions. It has an environment where it's an international free zone. It's got a judicial system that is built on English law. And, all of those conditions translate to a very attractive place for an ecosystem of financial services providers to operate. So as a startup company, we came into that environment. One of the on-ramps that we had was through the FSRA and the Abu Dhabi global market. There is a reg lab environment for us to come in and demonstrate and showcase the capabilities of our technology right alongside the regulators and have the opportunity to move into serving the market as a technology provider. As we grew, we qualified for another fantastic program, and I put the link in the chat window. And Carmen mentioned it earlier, the Hub 71 program. So this is a program under Mubadala that is a fantastic incubator and an accelerator for startups. Securrency moved into that environment. It provided us a physical home in the sense of a WeWork office, and incentives for our employees to offset some of the cost of housing, incentives for us to apply towards health insurance for our employees. And those incentives provided extended runway for us at a time when we were growing and largely a pre-revenue company. So those incentives were, of course, very helpful on the balance sheet, but it also created an ecosystem network effect where you had the interaction with other co-founders and other startups that were moving forward in an area of discovery that we could collaborate with, share experiences, and grow with. And Securrency is now essentially graduating out of that Hub 71 experience. We now have three businesses in Abu Dhabi, 2 financial services businesses, and a tech startup. And that whole journey has been incredibly impacted by the environment that the government of Abu Dhabi has established for startups here in this region.
Wow. So you just mentioned, being part of the incubator, and I'm curious where the LAVA, or the Venture Association, right? What's two parts to this, because with Lava, we're really focused on not just equity investment, but we focus on all types of financial support. So we really emphasize that folks can go after non-dilutive funding. So I'll ask a two-part question, which is combined. What's the kind of financial investment climate in Abu Dhabi, and what also, in addition to that, what other non-dilutive funding is available alongside that?
Well, the investment environment is fantastic. I mean, as I highlighted, there are avenues to seek investment from sovereign funds, from family offices and high net worth investors within the UAE. Also, of course, because this is such a respected jurisdiction and one that investors within the GCC look to as opportunities to invest, we have brought in, as I said, investment from Saudi Arabia and other countries in the region. So it's been a great place to be. There is a lot of promotion that comes as a result of being invested in the ecosystem. So whether it's the Abu Dhabi Global Market, or it's Hub 71, or it's audio, or whatnot, even this opportunity to speak with you today is an example of the exposure that you get by being invested in this community.
Wow, that's great.
And then the second half of that question, I apologize, I didn't answer right away, is the non-dilutive investments. So those incentive programs that exist, that Carmen has highlighted, that qualified startups can receive, those benefits are non-dilutive, and they are very, very important in creating the conditions for having a successful business.
Great. And then from your experience, what advice would you give to US companies that are looking to establish in Abu Dhabi?
Well, I'll definitely echo what James had to say earlier, which is hop on a flight and come to Abu Dhabi if you've never been here before. It is a world-class community, clean, safe, efficient, modern, international. The diversity that you encounter here is unlike anything else in the world. You can't overstate how high a quality of life that you have here. So that's the first thing. Have that firsthand impression of the area, because the stereotypes that you may have, you will quickly shed as you get into the community. Then the next thing is, as you consider either seeking investment from the region, but more importantly, coming to the region to establish a business or expand internationally, make that commitment that this is not a part-time experience. This is a full-time experience. Come here, live here, embrace it. It will reap amazing rewards and dividends for those that do that. And it may seem like a big transition, but I can tell you, I've now been here for 5 years, going on 6 years. And I can very well see myself here in the 17-year mark very quickly. I have no desire to leave. It was a fantastic community to be in during the COVID pandemic. The healthcare opportunities and a number of the other considerations that were put in place to protect the community was unmatched in the world. It's the safest city in the world, and handled COVID better than anywhere else in the world. So my advice would be, come here, experience it, and when you make the decision, invest in it by bringing yourself and bringing your people here as well.
Great. Well, thank you for that. I'm trying to look at our time here. We've got 3 minutes. There is a question in the Q&A with regard to some of the challenges that you faced moving in here. And while you're answering that question, I'll also ask Carmen to jump back in, and if there's some other questions, we can address those too.
Challenges wise, of course, if you're bringing a workforce from external to the UAE, there's the logistics associated with that. But frankly, having brought 72 employees, I shouldn't say entirely 172. Some of them we've hired locally, of course, but many of the employees that we brought in from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, from the United States. It is the resources that can be made available, whether it's through audio, really make for a soft landing. And the experiences that we have had have been very, very positive. So there frankly aren't too many challenges that we've had to overcome.
Wow. You know, what's really struck me, I hear this a lot when there's a lot of discussion about people leaving California because of taxes and, all these other things. But at the same time, you also hear a lot of people coming to LA in particular. And most of that discussion is about quality of life. And I think that that's something that was, even in many ways, that, no offense, Carmen, but was overlooked in some of the marketing that's being done about Abu Dhabi, where, like, hearing from John, I really understand as a parent and as a business professional, I really understand what he's saying about the quality of life. Quality of life has become a very big decision for the worker community, especially in a tech field like ours. And it sounds to me like Abu Dhabi, I need to get on a plane and come check it out. So John, thank you for those insights. If you don't mind, Carmen, I'll jump into a couple more questions that I see that have popped up. I've been trying to scroll through the chat because I know there were some back there. There's some questions about, it looks like esports teams, and I think that was probably towards James earlier. Are there plans to place a permanent esports teams or have esports teams in Abu Dhabi? That's one question, and I know James isn't on here at the moment.
Yeah, James is on here. He's actually already done that, so I might call him back out to answer that one.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that part because I was doing something else. And then is there any are there any cooperation possibilities in natural drinking glacier water sector that could provide for people of Abu Dhabi? So oh, and Nermeen just popped back up to answer that one. So I'll put that back out there to you.
James, I'll leave the Overwatch question to you.
Thanks, Carmen. Yeah, I mean, esports is huge here. There's so many players, and it's true that in many cases the opportunities are rife here because the region is underrepresented globally in esports, with many of the big games, the region not being represented. And Abu Dhabi's AD gaming initiative is changing that. We, for example, Team Nigma, I don't know if there's any Dota 2 players here or on the call. They're a tier 1 division esports team. These guys are from Arabia. This team, a young team, obviously all these sports teams are generally very young. They've won over $20 million in prize money since they started. They're world champions in 2019. They set up here, and I give this example because what Abu Dhabi is able to do is make connections for them. They came here and set their headquarters up here in their training academy to get more people into esports, which is a diverse and growing sector. Through our connections, they were able to get sponsorship through Etihad Airlines, the national airline of UAE, and it was the first ever airline to sponsor an esports team. And they're also now found other sponsorships and an acquisition take place, and they're building their esports training academy in Abu Dhabi. That's one example of how the AD gaming, the government's initiative, is able to support, connect esports teams. And you're going to see some awesome events, world-class events coming out of Abu Dhabi. We have the Etihad Arena, an 18,000-seater purpose-built arena, which we're going to fill with an esports event in December, which I'm looking forward to. I can't say what it is. Will be announced soon. So yeah, we do lots in esports. We do lots.
Great. Well, I'd love to invite you back. We have a whole Lava gaming segment. We just had Infinite Reality on recently, which just went public. We have over 150,000 views of our Lava gaming. So it's a very popular channel. So
we should connect then, Darren, for sure.
Yes. And then Nermeen, I think the question about glacier water goes to you.
Yeah, so I left my email in the chat box, and I'm hoping that whoever sent that question can send me an email. Yes, Masdar, obviously sustainability, we care so much about water security, and there are a lot of water projects that Masdar invests in. As an example, a US-based water technologies company called Aquavum in August partnered with Masdar and with Khalifa University, which is one of the most prestigious universities in the UAE. And they developed a project to produce commercial volumes of an uninterrupted water supply from a sustainable source from the atmosphere. And we at Masdar City have this project piloted at Masdar City. And we're very happy to have supported them. We wrote about them a story which made the first page of the national newspaper, which is the leading English newspaper in the UAE. And that's another amazing thing that we do at Masdar City Free Zone, which is that we market and we shed light on companies that come and pilot their projects here, because we're not just a free zone, right? Like, we're a company that wants to see the world become more sustainable. So whoever sent that question, if you can send me an email, and of course I'll direct you to the right people and in Masdar's water experts.
Great. That sounds exciting. I have a background in clean tech, so I'm really excited to try to get out there. I don't see any other specific questions that are kind of full audience worthy of asking. If you have, there's some detailed questions in the Q&A or in the chat that if you have, feel free to follow up with our panelists after the show. We are over time, so I want to thank everybody. I know the folks that are on from Abu Dhabi probably want to get to sleep, or at least get back to their families so they can put their families to sleep. I would like to thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you all.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Great. And for those rest of you out there, thank you for joining Lava today. Thank you, Michael and Sharon, for the fantastic job you've done bringing this program to us today. I think it's very informative, and I hope that there'll be some additional follow-up after this. So take care, everyone. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye.